And welcome back to the Averett Sports Network. We'll send it down here now to Drew Wilson for the starting lineups and the national anthem. We'll be back with you in just a moment after we hear from our PA announcer.
Danville University, the Old Athletic Conference, and NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Prevent any racial, sexist comments or discriminating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or other team representatives. Not be tolerated and our grounds floor removal from the Grand Center. Also, consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Good evening and welcome to the Grand Center for tonight's Kodak Women's Volleyball matchup featuring Hollins University and your Cougars of Averett University. Fans of this time, we ask that you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And now let's meet tonight's teams. First, the reserves for the visitors from Hollins. Number 1, Aaliyah Lightsey. Number 2, Anicia Dean. Number 4, Meredith Crawley. Number 5, Finn Bolt. Number 8, Dakota Webb Hawkins. Number 11, Gabby Hedrick. Number 17, Sydney Mitchell. And number 20, Brenna Andueza. And now the starters for Hollins. Number 3, Connor Myers. Number 6, Nora Madry. Number 9, Brenna Ray. Number 12, Alyssa Reed. Number 14, Cassidy Henderson. Number 16, Rachel Hall. And number 18, Sophia Bauer. Head coach for Hollins is David McGee. And now let's meet the reserves for your Cougars. A junior from Oxford, North Carolina, number 2, Cadence Woodruff. A freshman from Connolly Springs, North Carolina, number 6, Adeline Cornberry. A junior from Wilmington, North Carolina, number 10, Tahani Boaz. A sophomore from Cypress, Texas, number 11, Megan Lippman. A freshman from Fort Drum, New York, number 12, Cindy Carbone. A freshman from Kinston, North Carolina, number 14, Alyssa Hatcher. A freshman from Canavas, North Carolina, number 15, Lainey Beaver. A junior from Salt Lake City, Utah, number 18, Brown Larios. A sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, number 20, Alexa Lark. And now, let's meet and greet the starting lineup for your Averett University Cougars. A senior from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 1, Rachel Green. A junior from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, number 3, Sydney Mouse. A junior from Knoxville, Tennessee, number 4, Ella Chapley. A senior from Yorktown, Virginia, number 5,
And welcome back to the Averett Sports Network. Thank you, Drew, for that, as we'll get going with this one here in just a moment. Again, I'm Wyatt Acapulco. If you're just joining us here for this conference match between Hollins and your Cougars of Averett University. I'll be on the call tonight for tonight's match. As we'll get going here in a second, let's give you your starters if you didn't hear them already. Number 1, Rachel Green. Number 13, Sydney Mounts. Number 4, Ella Jabley. Jabley, I should say. Number 5, Nina Moore. Number 19, Emily Phillips. Number 21, Allie Wilkerson. Number 23, Dayton Moore. And for Hollins, number 3, Connor Myers. Number 6, Nora Madre. Number 9, Brianna Ree. Number 12, Alyssa Reed. Number 14, Cassidy Henderson. Number 16, Rachel Hull. And number 18, Sophia Marr. As Wilkerson checks out now here, as your libero will be Ella Jabley for the Cougars. And Connor Myers for Hollins. As Madry will check out now here. As we'll get set here, it looks like Hollins will get back to serve now. That's Rachel Hull. Hull up to serve for Hollins. Gets over to Mounts, over to Moore. Over the net goes Mounts. Saved by Hollins. Gets it back over the net to Jabley. Over to Mounts on the attack as the ball goes long. And it'll be off the fingertips of Hollins. So it'll be the first point to get on the board for Averett. So Mounts will be the one to step back and take the serve, as she's the one that also scored the point there for Averett. As back over that goes Hollins. Dayton Moore with an excellent dig there. Over to Jabley, over to Mounts, who gets it back over to Hull. Back over the net, over tiny tap over that, back over the net to Moore. Back over to Moore again, over to Green. Back over the net goes Hollins. An excellent block there from Averett. And an excellent also block from Nina Moore at the net to give Averett a second point, as they are now up 2-0. Mounts will step back and take the serve. As that's a little bit of a miscue from number 14, Cassidy Henderson, as she wasn't quite able to get the ball over the net there. So it'll be yet another serve here for Sydney Mounts, with the Cougars now up 3-0. As she's not able to get the ball over the net. So it'll be a point in favor of Hollins. It will be Henderson back to take the serve. Henderson over the net to Jabley. Bounces off the net to Moore. As Averett not quite able to keep it in bounds, just off the fingertips of Cadence Woodliff for Averett. So Henderson will be step back, will take the serve here for Hollins. Hollins back over the net. As it'll be called on Averett, so it'll be a point here for Hollins, as they're able to tie it up here at 3 apiece. Henderson back to take the serve. As the refs have finished talking over whatever they found there, what they were having to discuss. But over the net goes Henderson, over to Rachel Green. Back over to Emily Phillips. Saved by number 3, Connor Myers. Back over the net goes Hollins. As it will be Dayton Moore, over to Nina Moore. Back over the net goes Hollins. As Jabley makes an excellent save, over to Rachel Green. Green with the point and the kill as she just hits it just out of the reach of the back line for Hollins and off the fingertips of Cassidy Henderson. Jabley with the one now to take the serve for Averett as it will go to Connor Myers. Back from the neck to Hollins. Over to Woodliff, over to Moore. Sets it up for Wilkerson. Good save there over to Green. Green trying to tap around the net. Is Jabley not able to save it as the ball will go into the net. So Hollins will take the first lead here of the day. As Hollins will get the ball over the net to Green, back over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with a little tap over the net, trying to find some space right in front of the net as the ball goes long. But they say in favor of Hollins. So it will be Sophia Maurer to take the serve now for Hollins, who gets over Rachel Green. Green not able to keep it in bounds as Woodliff will run into the stands. She's okay on that little bump to try to save it, but not able to keep it in. To Littman. Back to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with an excellent kill over the net, just out of the reach of the Hollins defense. As she'll get a point back here for the Cougars. Wilkerson on the serve over to Dean. Over to Henderson. Back to Littman. Over to Mounts. Back to Dean. Over to Henderson. As she'll find a spot right in front of the Averett defense. As that's a little out of the reach of the Cougars. So Hollins will now go back up 4, so it'll be number 8. Dakota Webb Hawkins. As Hollins not able to pull it back within, as they'll give the Cougars a point there, so it'll only be a 3-point deficit now. As senior Dayton Moore, one of the leaders here for Averett, hugely talked about. As Hollins go back over the net, a little tip over to Mounts, over to save it. Back to Moore to set it for Nina Moore. As Dean finding the serve, as the big front line of Nina Moore and Emily Phillips able to keep that one from coming back over to the net to their side, as that was excellent defense there played by Averett. So the Cougars now will only be within 2, a score of 12-10. As Hollins go back over to Dayton Moore, back over to Jabley, over to Mounts on the attack. Myers right there for Dean. Back over to Lights. Back over to Lightsey, over to Myers. Myers with an excellent dig there to dig it out, as Emily Phillips able to get the point for Averett, as Averett will be now within 1. As Myers with an excellent dig there, but Hollins not able to get it back over the net and to continue the offense for Hollins, as though. So Dayton Moore with the successful serve. And we're all tied up here in the Grant Center, 12 all, as Hollins now will take a timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network for the continuation of the action. As we're back here on the Averett Sports Network with Dayton Moore set to serve it away here for Averett. As Dayton Moore will go back over the net to Henderson. Back to Dean. Back to Lightsey. As that one will go out, but just find some space on the floor right in front of the Cougars as Hollins will get a point back and retake the lead here, 13-12. Sorry, that'll be Averett take the lead. I'm sorry. Back over to Henderson. Back to Mounts. Back to Moore. Back over to Nina Moore. Saved by Reed. Over to Dean. Over to Henderson. Back off the arms of Jabley. Over to Dayton Moore. Back to Jabley, who gets it over the net to Marr. Back to Dean. Back to Marr. As it'll be Rachel Green over to Nina Moore. Henderson able to get it over the net as the point will be given to Averett. As Averett now takes a 3-point lead. Scratch that 2-point lead here. 14-12. As Marr with an excellent kill. As she'll pull Hollins within one of the Averett lead. As it'll be number 16, Rachel Hull, back to serve it away here for Hollins. Hull with an excellent serve there over to Mounts. Back over to Mounts off a set from Dayton Moore. As Myers tries to keep it alive, but the ball goes into the net. As now Averett will go back up by 2 points. As she'll be the one to get the serve, to serve it away here for Averett. But right into the net, Mounts goes. As Hollins pulls back to within one by a score of 15-14 as Mounts will now take a break. Serve over to Rachel Green. Back over to Nina Moore. Back over to Myers. Back to Hull. Over to Jabley, over to Nina Moore. As Nina Moore gives Averett a point. As they'll take the 16-14 lead with Jabley set to serve it away here for the Cougars in the middle of this first set. Jabley. Back over the net goes Hull over to Nina Moore, just able to dig it out. Back over to Green as Hollins keeps it alive. Back over the net goes Marr over to Woodliff. Back over to Moore. Back over to Green as Hull for Hollins keep it alive. Over to Jabley. Over to Dayton Moore. Over to Nina Moore with a little, tap as she'll land a spot right in front of the Hollins defense as they'll give Averett the 3-point lead. Jabley set to serve it away here over to Myers, over to Hull, over to Henderson as Henderson goes long as Averett has their biggest lead of the day by 4 by a score of 18-14. And it's Jabley now for the Cougars. Will serve it away here as they'll get over to Henderson, over to Hull, over to Marr, blocked by the Averett front line of Rachel Green and Allie Wilkerson. As Wilkerson and Nina Moore make an excellent block. As Hollins not able to keep it in bounds. As the Cougars will go up by 5 as Hollins will take another timeout here on the Averett Sports Network. We're going to take it with them. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. welcome back to the Averett Sports Network. As if you're just joining us, again, I'm Wyatt Ockpole. I'll be here from start to finish with this match tonight between Hollins and your Cougars of Averett University. As Ella Jabley out of Knoxville, Tennessee, set to serve it away as Connor Myers. And Hollins able to save that one, as set it up for Rachel Green, as Henderson will save it off the dig there from Myers, as Dayton Moore will get over the Jabley. Back over to Rachel Green, blocked there by the Hollins defense, as Green be able to get back over that from Hull. Back from Hollins, as that was an excellent dig there from Dayton Moore, as the ref will say a double tap in favor of Hollins. As Marr will be set back to take the serve for Hollins, as they'll get it over to Cadius Woodruff. As Allie Wilkerson with an excellent kill on the point there for Averett, as there was no stopping her right there in front of the net. So Dayton Moore and Nina Moore will both check out now here for Averett, as that'll bring in Megan Littman for Averett, as well as Tahani Valines, as the Cougars able to get the point and take advantage of the dig there that landed right in front of the net for Hull of Hollins. So it'll give the Cougars yet another point here for Littman to serve it away here for the Cougars. As Hollins trying to get it back over the net, not able to on a little miscommunication, as the Cougars now will go up by a score of 22-15. As Littman with a strong serve there for Averett, as Wilkerson will get it over to Littman, over to Green, who thought she had the point there, but the second try goes to Wilkerson, as Wilkerson will get the kill and to push the ball right in front of the net for the Cougars, as they'll be now 2 points away here from putting away this first set, as Littman with another strong serve, but goes right out of bounds. So Hollins will get a point back here, as Hull will check out here for Hollins. And it looks like number 2 will be in Anicia Dean, as they'll get over to Dean, over to Reed, back with the Cougars, as Green will try to serve it there, as Wilkerson with another excuse me tap right in front of the Hollins defense. So Woodruff will now check out here for Averett, as Mounts will come back in after taking a little bit of a breather, as she'll be on the front line there right with Wilkerson and Tahani Valines, as an excellent attack there from Hollins lands them another point. With set point here for Alyssa Reed to serve it away here, as they'll be down 24-17, as they'll be off the hands of Averett, as Hollins will get another point. So it'll be Alyssa Reed back to serve again here for Hollins. Hollins over the net she goes, as that'll land right in front of Ella Jabley, not able to quite find where to dig it out. As Hollins has now scored the last 2 points. As that one goes long, and the Cougars take the first set here in the Grant Center by a score of 25-19. As that one goes long off the serve from Hollins. So the Cougars will now be up 1-0. We'll be back here now on the Averett Sports Network in just a few minutes.
Flow Sports has changed the game. We created the essential destination NCAA fans deserve. Together, Flow College and NCAA conferences, institutions, and teams have taken all collegiate sports to the next level.
Oh my goodness! Back to Jones. She lets it fly from deep, and she buries it. Oh, and a wraparound. He's got some speed down the sideline. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
The new collegiate record belongs to Parker Valby.
In front, Stockfish, offload shot, score!
Smith taking three. That is crushed.
It's a touchdown!
Welcome back here to the Averett Sports Network. If you're just joining us, I'm Wyatt Ockpole. I'm going to give you a couple of stats here before we get started with the second set. On the attacking side for Averett, Nina Moore and Allie Wilkerson both led the way. Wilkerson with 5, Nina Moore with 4, and with Hollins, Nora Madre, Alyssa Reed, and Cassidy Henderson, as well as Sophia Maurer, all had two kills in that first set. So we'll see how whether this continues for both teams, as Wilkerson for Averett is a player to watch here in the second set and for the rest of this match, as we'll see how both sides do here for the rest of this match. As we'll get started here in just a second here with Dayton Moore back to take the serve for Averett as they switch sides as usual in volleyball. So on the right side of your screen, it'll be Averett in the white, blue, and with the gold pinstriping. And Hollins in the green with the gold pinstriping. As Dayton Moore will back take the serve here for Averett. As Moore will get it over to Henderson. Henderson didn't know quite where she was going with that bump. So it'll be 1-0 Averett to start this second set. As Dayton Moore will be to take her second serve, who gets over to Henderson. Back over to Lightsey. Go over to Mounds, over to Dayton Moore, over to Wilkerson, over to Lightsey. Back over to Henderson, saved by Dayton Moore, over to Jabley, over to Rachel Green on the attack. As Meyer is able to save it there for Hollins, who get it over the net to Jabley. Back over to Dayton Moore, over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with the kill to give Averett their 2-0 lead. As it'll give senior Dayton Moore a third serve in a row. As they'll give it over Moore, over to Jabley, over to Rachel Green. As the ref says that one went a little long, so Hollins will get a point back here as the score is now 2-1. As Rachel Hull will be set back to take the serve here for Hollins. as Lightsey will check out here for Hollins, as the ball will get over the net, over to Nina Moore, off the back of Wilkerson. Over the net goes Hollins, as the little miscommunication there on who was going to take the next bump gives Averett a 3-1 lead here, as it lands right in front of them in their little semicircle. As Rachel Green back over to Hull. Back over the net goes Alyssa Reed, as that one goes long. As Averett will now take the 4-1 lead for Rachel Green now to step back to take the serve for Averett. Green, as something happened on the side of Hollins to give Averett a 5-1 lead. It looks like the ref is saying that they were out of formation, but who knows? As the refs will talk it over here along with both coaches for Hollins. As Coach McGee looks like she was saying that Alyssa Reed was out of her spot. As we'll now continue the action as the refs have finished talking it over. And Rachel Green will be set back to take the serve for Averett. Over to Marr. Back to Henderson. Dug out by Nina Moore. Back over to the Mounts on the attack. As the ball lands, a little miscommunication from Hollins. Gives Averett a 5-1 lead now. As Green will be set back to take the serve for Averett, as it will get over to Henderson. I guess we'll replay that serve, as the ref hadn't blown his whistle before Rachel Green served it away that previous spot. So will Marr, as Mounts right there in front of the net to give Averett the kill. As Marr gave Mounts a soft serve over the net, as there was plenty of space right in front of the net, in front of Hollins. As Green back over the net goes Reed, over to Green. Back over to Dayton Moore, over to Wilkerson, and is blocked by the front line of Hollins. As Hollins will now be given another point here, so they'll only be down by a score of 6-2 with number 11 here for Hollins, Gabby Hedrick. Sets the serve away to Mounds, over to Dayton Moore, back over to Wilkerson, over to Myers, who serves it for Hull. As the ball will go into the net, as the Cougars will now go up again by 5, as Emily Phillips will check in here for the Cougars. As Ella Jabley will check out here, as Wilkerson will serve it away, and as Hedrick not able to find the dig, so Averett will now be in the lead by a score of 8-2. As Hollins with a little miscommunication and a little bit of bump with a bump that just went right out of bounds. As the Cougars will now go up by 7. As that will go long from Wilkerson. So Wilkerson will check out here and we'll get a breather. As we'll see the libero for Averett now, Ella Jabley check back in. It'll be Sophia Marr. Get over the mounts, over to Dayton Moore. Back to Nina Moore, whose hit over the net goes way long. So Hollins now will have a point back here as they're now only down by 5. As Mounts will get over to Dayton Moore, who got it over the net to Hollins. Back over the net to Jabley, to Dayton Moore, back over to Mounts as Rachel Hull with an excellent dig out of the there to give Hollins the point on the second try there. So Hollins will get a kill and will get another point back here as they now are only down by 4. Sophia Marr back over to Mounts. Over to Dayton Moore. Over to Nina Moore. Back over to Marr. Ho sets it over the net to Green. Over to Jabley, who digs it out. Over to Rachel Green. Over to Marr. Back over the net goes Reed to Green. From Dayton Moore to Sydney Mounts, as Mounts is the one that gets the kill for Averett. As the Cougars will now go up by 5 again here, as Nina Moore and Dayton Moore will check out here for Averett, as Megan Lippman and Tahani Valines will now check in here for the Cougars. So Lippman will be back to serve over to Myers. Back for the hole as the attack from Reed doesn't quite get over the net. So it'll be a 6-point lead here for Averett as Lippman goes over the net to Marr, over to Hull. Back over the net to Hollins. A little miscommunication here from the Averett defense between Valines and Lippman. Brings Hollins to within 5. As Coach McGee is trying to get Hollins and his team on a little bit of a comeback here against Averett. As Mounts with a strong attack, but a big block from that front line of Hollins, of Reed, Lightsey, and Nora Madre. Give Hollins a point. So with Hollins now being down by 5 after the long serve, gives the Cougars back the possession. As Mounts will serve it away as that one will go long. And it'll hit the camera on the other side. As it'll be another now 4-point lead again as the libero for Hollins will check out now here. That's Connor Myers. As she'll get a breather. So Alyssa Reed will be back to serve it over to the green. As Averett will get the point here as that one goes off the top of the net for Hollins and goes out of bounds. As it'll give Ella Jabley a chance to serve it away. Jabley. As it looked like Hollins was out of formation. As it'll give the Cougars another 5-point lead here in the second set. As Jabley serves it away here for Averett. As Hedrick now for Hollins, give it to Lippman, back over to Honey Valines. Over to Marr. Back over to Lightsey as Averett not quite able to finish that attack. As it'll give Hollins another point and Nora Madre a chance to serve it away. As Cadence Woodliff will be in now here for the Cougars. Alyssa back over the net. A big block from Allie Wilkerson gives Averett a point. As they'll go up 15-9 here with Tahani Valines and Megan Lippman checking out here again for the Cougars. It'll be Dayton Moore now back in the front line of Rachel Green, Allie Wilkerson, and Nina Moore. As Rachel Green back over the net she goes. Over to Myers, back over to Hedrick, over to Woodliff. Set by Moore, attacked by Moore. As Lightsey will find the back corner behind the Averett defense, as they'll get a point back as they'll keep this game to within 5. As Lightsey will check out here for Hollins, as Jabley with an excellent dig there to get that one out. As Nina Moore tried to find the back corner behind the Hollins defense, but couldn't quite keep that ball in. So it'll give Rachel Hull a chance to serve it away. Another point here for Hollins. As Rachel Green just off the net on the attack. As Gabby Hedrick with a little poke over the net, over to Jabley. Back over to Green, over to Hedrick. Back to Hull, over to Reed. Back to Wilkerson, not Wilkerson, Woodliff, as Woodliff gets the kill. As it seems like tonight, Averett has been able to sustain a 5 or 6 point lead and been able to keep Hollins here at bay, but let's see whether this continues. As it'll be Hollins to get the point there off of number 18, Sophia Marr, and the fingertips of the back line for Averett. As they'll give Hedrick a chance to serve it away. As Hedrick get over to Mounts, over to Dayton Moore, back to Wilkerson, over to Hull, back to Alyssa Reed, but couldn't quite get it over the net thanks to a good block there from Averett to be able to give Averett another point back as they'll sustain a 5-point lead here now, 17-12 in the second set. As Hull will get over to Nina Moore. Moore tried to get the ball over there on the strong attack as Dayton Moore with a little palm, but couldn't quite get the ball back over the net there. As it'll give Marr the ball and the possession with a chance to bring her team within 3. As Mounts with an excellent attack there off the hands of number 11, Gabby Hedrick. As Averett will now go back up by 5 as Lippman will check in. As we'll see Tahani Valines now back in here for Averett. As Lippman will get it over the net to Hull. Back to Reed on the strong serve with an excellent dig there by Jabley. Over to Mounts. Mounts unable to keep it in the parameters. As it'll bring Hollins now to within 4. So Hull and number 9 here for Hollins. That's Brianna Rhea. As it'll be number 20, That's Brianna Odwiza. As Hollins will get a point back here off the little miscue of the Cougars. As Odwiza will get it over the net to the Cougars as a long attack and a kill from Mounts, as Hollins just didn't even bother with trying to dig that one out, as they just stood still as Mounts get with another kill, as Hollins will now get a point back thanks to the little miscommunication here from Averett. As Woodruff will check back in here for the Cougars, as she's gotten decent minutes here from Coach Emma Nash. So Alyssa Reed for Hollins will be set to serve it away here, as Woodruff will get a bump, as Hollins just not able to handle it, as Averett will bring the lead to 4 points now by a score of 20-16. Jabley set to serve it away here for the Cougars. Get it over to Hedrick. Serve back over the net, a little palm ball. Back on the attack from Green. Over to Marr, back over to Alyssa Reed. Little tap there from Wilkerson. Gets it back over the net and continues his volley here, as a good volley here from both teams. As Lightsey with an excellent dig there from Tahani Valines will keep the ball in play, as Woodruff will get another touch over to Green, as Green was met by an excellent block from the Hollins defense, as Hollins will now pull this game to within 3, with the Cougars now only up by a score of 20-17. As Hollins will get it away thanks to Nora Madre, as Valines, a little tap over the net, as Hollins will get it back over the net to the Cougars, back to Green, back to Hedrick, over to Woodruff, who sets it for Dayton Moore, another set to Valines. Valines tried to get it back over the net but couldn't. As Averett will now take a timeout thanks to a little drive being built by Hollins. So we'll take it with them. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network in just a moment. And welcome back to the Averett Sports Network after that short timeout here for the Cougars, as Coach Emma Nash wanted to talk it over and to try to calm her team down, and be careful not to give this one away, as Nora Madre will serve it over the net, as Wilkerson with a little finger tap kill over the net, as Hollins tried to get the dig out there, as they're not able to, so the Cougars will now be up by a score of 21-18, with Dayton Moore set to serve it away here for the Cougars. As Lightsey with a strong attack onto the back line behind Averett. Just an absolute missile. As as Hall here for Hollins will be set back to serve it away. As Jabley makes an excellent dig, as Wilkerson tries to poke it over just like before, as Hedrick with a strong attack over to Woodruff, back over to Dayton Moore, back to Rachel Green. Rachel Green with the excellent attack over the net to give the Cougars another point that they need to continue their lead. Rachel Green set to serve it away here over to Alyssa Reed on the serve, on the bump over to Dayton Moore, over to Wilkerson, but Wilkerson, as the ball went off the net, it'll give Hollins another point here. So this game is now within 2 points with Hedrick set to serve it away here for Hollins. As Hedrick will get it over the net to Mounts, as Mounts not able to dig that one out. As Hollins now pulls to within one, as it is now 22-21 in favor of Averett, as Hedrick will now get another service. Jabley gets that one out of the dust, as there'll be another point here for Averett, so they'll pull to a 2-point lead here. Wilkerson over to Myers, back to Reed on this big block there by Nina Moore and Emily Phillips. But as the point goes to Hollins, so it'll be Marr back to set it away, or serve it away here for Hollins. As Mounds, good job by the Averett offense to keep that one alive. As Rachel Green will step in. Serve the set made by Dayton Moore. Back over the net to Green. Back to Dayton Moore. Over to Nina Moore. As that one goes long, and this ball game is all tied up. 23 apiece here in the Grant Center, as this exciting second set gets a little bit more exciting, I should say, as Marr will serve it away here. As Reed saves it, as Mounts on the second try. Saved by Myers. Back over the net goes Hollins. Over to Dayton Moore. Back over to Mounts. As Myers digs that one out. As it'll be a double tap here from, says the ref, so it'll be 24-23 in favor of Averett. So it'll be set point here as it gives the Cougars a chance to put this set away, but Hollins will take a timeout here, and we'll take it right with him as we'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network.
Flow Sports has changed the game. We created the essential destination NCAA fans deserve. Together, Flow College and NCAA conferences, institutions, and teams have taken all collegiate sports to the next level.
Oh my goodness! Back to Jones. She lets it fly from deep, and she buries it. Oh, a wraparound. He's got some speed down the sideline. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
The new collegiate record belongs to Parker Valby.
Looking in front, Stockfish, offload shot, score!
As Megan Lippman will be set to serve it away here for the Cougars. A sophomore out of Cypress, Texas. As Lippman will get it over to Reed, over to Hall. Back over to Reed, as Reed not able to put it back over the net, as the Cougars will take the second set, as they'll now go up by a 2-0 set lead, as we'll start the third set here in just a few minutes. but Averett now being up by a score of 2-0. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network to continue the action.
Flow Sports has changed the game. We created the essential destination NCAA fans deserve. Together, Flow College and NCAA conferences, institutions, and teams have taken all collegiate sports to the next level.
Oh my goodness! Back to Jones. She lets it fly from deep, and she buries it. Oh, and a wraparound. He's got some speed down the sideline. Touchdown, Bulldogs!
The new collegiate record belongs to Parker Valby.
Looking in front, Stockfish, offload shot, score!
Smith taking three. That is crushed.
It's a touchdown!
With about 12 seconds left to go here in the timeout, we'll be about ready to go here for this third set of this one between the Averett University Cougars and Hollins University, visiting from Hollins. As it looks like it'll be Emily Phillips, Sydney Mounds, Nina Moore, Rachel Green, Allie Wilkerson, and Dayton Moore, as well as libero Ella Jabley, as Wilkerson will now take a seat for Jabley to check in. As Mounts will also be in for Averett, as it'll be Connor Myers, Alyssa Reed, Sophia Marr, looks like Cassidy Henderson will also be in, as well as Gabby Hedrick. As there'll be Rachel Hull also in for Hollins and to set serve for Averett, as Mounds with an excellent kill with taking advantage of the ball up in the air, and a soft serve from Hollins, able to give Averett their first point of the set, as Averett has pretty much taken the lead here at the start of all three sets, as little miscommunication here from Hollins gives Averett a 2-0 set lead. As we notice that the bench for Averett is now up and dancing, as that one will go long off of a serve from Sydney Mounts, who now checks out to give Cadence Woodliff a few more minutes here in this one. As Gabby Hedrick will now set to serve it away here for Hollins, as that'll go out of bounds on the right side. And it'll be Emily Phillips now to check out here for Averett. Now with the Cougars being given a 3-1 lead here, as Wilkerson will now also be back in for Averett. As Cassidy Henderson on the strong serve, but a good save there from Hollins though. But a good strong attack preserves for Averett as they now gain a 3-point lead here, 4-1 for the Cougars. As Ella Jabley will be back for the serve. As Alyssa Reed gets over then on a strong attack. Jabley sets it for Nina Moore as Nina Moore with her second straight kill. As she has been someone to watch for the Cougars, as she has definitely taken advantage of the opportunities where she's had them. As Jabley will be set to serve it away. It'll be over to Hull, over to Marr, and it'll be off the hands of the Cougars. So Hollins will now get their second point of the set, even though the Cougars now have a 5-2 lead. Marr on the attack as the block from Averett not able to keep the ball in bounds. So it will be another point here as they pull within 2 for Hollins. As Jabley will set that one up for Dayton Moore. Sets it up for Rachel Green, who will get the strong kill off the back fingertips of Marr. And it'll give Averett another 3-point lead as Nina Moore and Dayton Moore will check out here for Averett, as it'll be Megan Lippman back to serve it away here for Averett. As Lippman on the strong serve as Myers not able to keep it in bounds. As Averett now will go up by 4 by a score of 7-3. Lippman over the net to Marr. Back to Hull, back to Alyssa Reed with a strong block on the side of Rachel Green and Allie Wilkerson, able to give the Cougars a 5-point lead by a score of 8-3, as the Cougars have pretty much dominated all 3 sets so far. As Lippman will be the one to serve away, as Hollins gets a point back here, as Cadence Woodliff not able to handle the attack here for Averett. As the Cougars go on the offensive, as the good possession here for the Cougars lands them a point, as they'll now go up by a score of 9-4. So Lightsey will check out here for Hull, as Cassidy Henderson also checks out here for, looks like, number 24. Sorry, number 20, that's Brianna Adwiza. As Averett will go back on the offensive, as the lines will be in now for the Cougars. A good volley here from both teams as Alyssa Reed finds some space on the floor right in front of Sydney Mounts, and it'll give Hollins a chance to pull to within 3, as they now have pulled to within 4. As the libero for Hollins, Connor Myers, will check out here to get a little bit of a breather, as Reed will serve away over to Jabley. Back over to Dweeza. Back to Rachel Green, over to Lippman. Back over to Mounts with a little tap. As Lightsey will get back over to Jabley. Over to Lippman, who sets it up for Wilkerson. Luke Wilkerson with a little tap there for the kill. Wilkerson with an excellent vision over the net to find some space right in the front court, right in front of the Hollins defense, as she'll give her team a 5-point lead and the chance to serve it away here for Averett. As the two teams will go back and forth again. Over to Lightsey, off the hands of Green, as Littman's with a good dig over to Wilkerson. As Hollins, they are now on the attack, but Averett able to get another dig. As Averett has a good dig there from Marr, saves the possession. As the two teams go back and forth, is Reed able to dig that attack from Mounts out. As the Lions now on tried for the attack, as Lightsey there for the attack. As the ball will go into the net on the third or fourth try on the offensive from Hollins, not quite able to get it back over the net. As the Cougars now will go up by a score of 11-5 now with a 6-point lead. Wilkerson over to Marr, over to Green. Green with an excellent dig. As Mounts not able to get it back over the net, as Hollins will now bring it to within 5. It will be Nora Madre to serve it away for Hollins. It'll get over to Mounts, over to Littman, who serves it away for Valines. As Hollins able to get the dig. As Valines with another tap, as it'll go long though and out of bounds. As Hollins will now pull it within 4. And Madre will take another serve over to Mounts. Get over to Littman, who sets it away for Mounts on the attack, but a good block there from number 18, that's Sophia Marr. As Hollins trying to work their way back into this third set. Madre over to Mounts. Littman sets it up for Phillips as the ball just goes right over the net and it lands right in front of the Hollins offense. So the Cougars will now go up by a score of 12-8. Dayton Moore, the senior, will set to serve it away. As Lightsey on the attack, but not able to get that ball back over the net. So it'll give Dayton Moore, another chance to serve it away here for Averett. Moore over the net to Hedrick. Back over to Dweeza as the ball from the attack from Hollins goes long. As Averett will now continue their dominant possession. As Reed not able to find the other side of the net. As the Cougars have all the momentum here in this third set by a score of 15-8. As Dayton Moore will serve it for the Cougars. As Jabley with an excellent dig sets it up for Green. Served by Myers. Back over to Hedrick. As that one goes long, and the Cougars will go up by 16-8. As Dayton Moore able to take all of these serves. As Lightsey able to save that one as it goes out of bounds again. Hollins just not able to find any rhythm whatsoever as they'll call a timeout here, so we'll take it with them. We'll be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. about 30 seconds left here on the clock for this timeout, as Drew Wilson, the sports information director for us here at Averett, pauses the clock as Dayton Moore will put it back into play for Alyssa Reed. Back over to Dweeza as Marr able to give her team back a point on the excellent kill with a little mishap from Averett. As they'll give Rachel Hull a chance to serve it away here for Hollins. As Rachel Green will dig that one out over to Jabley. Back over to Mounts, just not able to put it away for the Cougars. As Hollins will now pull to within 7 and give Hull another serve, her second straight. Hull, a soft serve as Mounts really kind of had to dig that one out as Dayton Moore sets it up for Nina Moore. As that one goes long out of bounds. As Hollins will now pull to within 6 of the Averett lead. Hull, Mounts had to dig that one out as a quick tap over the net from Phillips. Over to Dayton Moore, over to Jabley. Over to Nina Moore. Nina Moore finds the back corner and gives Averett back a point as they'll go up 7. So Mounds will step back to take the serve for Averett as she'll get over to Alyssa Reed. Alyssa Reed sets it up for Cassidy as she'll get the kill there for Hollins. As Hedrick will check out and give the ball to number 4. That's Meridon Crawley. Will now get her first minutes of this one. As she'll serve it away over to Jabley. As Nina Moore will set it up for Emma Phillips. Not able to find the back of the net. As they'll give Crawley a chance to serve it away again. Jabley digs that one out over to Dayton Moore. Sets it up for Rachel Green. As the Cougars get another point back here as the score is now 19-13. Off the hands of the back line for Hollins. Jabley will serve it away here to Crawley. A little tap over the net from Wilkerson. Just a little finger tap back over the side of the net of Hollins. As it'll give Averett a 7-point lead yet again. As Jabley will serve it away here for Hull. Back over to Marr off the fingertips of Nina Moore. Back to Jabley. Over to Marr. Back over to Wilkerson, and she'll find another spot right in front of the front line of Hollins. As she gets yet another kill to continue her very impressive streak. As Hull sets it up for Reed. Back over to Jabley. As Averett finds the momentum yet again. As this has been a very dominant third set here for the Cougars, as they are only 3 points away from taking a 3-0 set match win over Hollins. As Dayton Moore will serve it, will save it here for the Cougars. Back to Alyssa Reed as that one goes out and off the fingertips or off the net, as they'll get a point back and a chance to extend this. So Marr will be back to serve for Hollins, as that one will go long, and the Cougars now only within 2 of taking this match over Hollins. As Dayton Moore and Nina Moore will check out here for Megan Lippman. as Littman will be the one to serve it here for the Cougars. Littman gets it over to Reed, over to Crawley. Back to Ndwiza. Back over to Littman as Volines with a strong attack, but blocked there by the front line for Hollins. As Hull with an excellent bump over to Myers. Back over to Reed. Over to Jabley, as Jabley's not able to find the other side of the net, and it'll give Hollins another point back. It'll be Cassidy Henderson there for Hollins to serve it, as Volines will go back the other way, and an excellent attack there on the front line for the Cougars, as she found nothing but floor. And now match point for Averett, as they now have a huge opportunity to put this one away and to get their very first conference win of the season before senior night on Saturday. As Green will get it over to Myers, back over to Reed. Dug out by Volines, dug out by Jabley. Excellent job there by Averett to try to continue the possession, but the point given to Hollins on the double tap by Averett. Reed for Hollins, serves away to Jabley. Littman sets it up for Mounts. Saved by Reed. Back to Hedrick. Over to Littman. Back over to Volines. Saved by Hollins as Lightsey tries to keep it going. As Averett finds the finishing blow, as Volines will give their Cougars their final point that they needed to put Hollins away. So the Cougars will get their first conference win of the season as they take a 25-16 win over Hollins in the third set, and they'll take a 3-0 set sweep. Thank you all for joining us for tonight, as this was an exciting match, as we'll be back on Saturday for senior night right back here in the Grant Center against Warren Wilson. So mark your calendars, as it'll be a special night here in Danville. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back here to cover that game on Saturday. Have a good night, y'all.